and welcome to Finextra. I'm Thea George and I'm here with Bob Graham of VirtusaPolaris. We're at Sibos 2016 in Geneva and we're talking about AI and robotics. Bob, thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Thea.
So there seems to be more of a buzz at Sibos this year about AI and robotics. Would you agree with that, and what do you think is driving it?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We're seeing a lot of dialogue, a lot of conversations about robotics and AI. What can we do with it? How can we apply it? What are others doing with it in that space? And if you look at some of the market research that's come out, various publications have shown the market's growing 60–80% year over year. Some publications are saying the market's going to reach about $5 billion in sales in the next couple of years. So it's certainly both adoption rate is growing as well as the buzz rate.
And what are some of the things banks are already doing with these technologies, and what value are they getting from them?
RPA and robotics have been around actually for quite a bit of time, but recently a bunch of different forces have coalesced to increase adoption. You have one that this type of technology is now more proven from a security standpoint. So particularly for financial services, they're much more comfortable deploying it in their operation. RPA had come from somewhat of a screen scraping background in the past, and that was things that wouldn't muster from a security and audit control check. So you have that part. Then the second thing that's happened is you have the scalability increase with most of the independent product vendors that are out there. And I think the third coalescence that's happening is banks, as we know, are always interested in figuring out ways to reduce their operating expense. And with the maturing of some of these products in the marketplace, they offer an alternative to cost savings and efficiency that perhaps didn't exist a few years ago. So the attractiveness is greatly increased for banks. Now, where we're seeing this is in any area that you have significant manual operations. Now, we traditionally think about the back office, and that's certainly an area that we're seeing gross adoption in. Any place where we have high volume and low complexity tasks that are of a nature where you have lots of lower level operations people. So-called swivel chair work, where you may be transferring data from one system to another or into multiple different systems. That's certainly an adoption area. But what we're also seeing now is a broader increase into other corporate functions in the bank, so risk, compliance, even HR and legal. How could we apply these technologies there and drive some of that operational efficiency?
Yeah, that's interesting. So what do you think needs to happen to make sure that financial institutions get the most out of robotics, AI going forward?
I think like any other new technology comes out, there's kind of a wave of adoption. There's an understanding phase and an evaluation phase of what could I do with this technology, where can I apply it in my organization. So over the last year, we're working with 20 plus banks in understanding where they could typically apply this, how they could adopt it, and where to take it forward. And we see different levels of adoption. We see some jumping in with both feet and running very fast against this, and then we also see others at the other end of the spectrum that are taking a much more conservative approach. I think from a strategy standpoint, where this comes a little bit more into play is understanding where RPA and AI fit against your other automation technologies, say like BPM, say like digitization and mobile. And from a best practice standpoint, what we encourage folks to do is not to look at this in isolation, but to look at this as part of your overall automation strategy.
Bob, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching.